they have like similar kinds of approaches in terms of answers to?
Are things like testability.
Tämähän käy vähiin. Hey guys, you know the drill. This is a weekly show about mental health in software because everybody's just happier when software works. The dude sitting next to me, the ultimate champion of testing, Jani, Tuna, Haikala.
And here, next to me, is Antti Niittyviita, a trainer, a public speaker, and an author.
Welcome to the show. And because we are here to answer some question, what's the next question?
The next question, the question of the week,
Question of the week.
how do I improve the quality of testing?
How do I improve the quality of testing?
Yes, you heard it right.
First of all, I'm not sure if I'm answering the question at all, but in a lot of like testing reports, either verbal or written, I observe that testers don't often address the topic of quality of testing. They only address the topic of the product.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interesting observation. And I'm not sure why this happens, but it may be that people in testing don't often have tools to evaluate the value or evaluate the quality of their work. So I would say that every testing report has to have two things. A report about the quality of the product, or report about the information of the product, and report on how well did we test today, what were left out, what are the things that we should do next and stuff like that. So report about the quality.
You're absolutely right about that. Interestingly, we actually haven't had this question for a while, but it seems that now also a question about the question would be in place.
Yeah, questions about the questions are always in place.
Yeah, because I can see that we've interpreted this in a different way. But that's really good point.
Yeah.
For me, I was sort of thinking more like quality of testing. What kind of testing activities or areas are we testing? What we might not be testing yet? How can we improve the whole?
Yeah, that's true.
So to speak. But yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Like now, this is I'm not sure what the episode number is when we're shooting this,
12
or
I
something
think,
like that. Yeah. But I noticed that there are like a lot of questions that are somehow touching other questions that we've already answered.
True.
And in a sense, they have like similar kinds of approaches in terms of answers too. So I feel like there are some like familiar elements in this answer that we may have. At least I have something in mind. So
that is bound to happen eventually. Yeah.
For example, this is like. This is one of my priceless answers, begin with the end in mind. But I will explain why it matters here a little later. Yeah. Did you have something on your mind there?
What I started thinking was so, you kind of need a bit of context to answer it specifically.
Yeah.
So the question that comes to my mind first is so where's the testing right now? Well, what type of things are happening there? What are you doing in the field of testing at the moment? Which sort of also leads to where do you want to be?
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
What do you think is ideal for you?
Exactly.
Yeah. And that sort of is the same thing. Then once you know where you are, where you want to be, you can sort of define the steps, what you need to take. In order to get there. Yeah.
So it's really hard to evaluate the quality if you don't have a reference point. And the number one reference point for me always when I'm thinking about quality in different things is that how do I want it to be? So, or how should we as an organization like want it to be? So and then we have the vision, then it's like really feasible to ask, so how are we doing at the moment in terms of where we want to be? So that's why it boils down to the beginning with the end in mind, I would say.
And that I think is quite easy to summarize. Define where you are right now, define where you want to be, and define the steps and maybe the resources you need to get where you want to be.
Define the resources like in terms of like time and money. How should you allocate your time and money to get closer to where you want to be? And then whose support organization would you need? Like name the people who you need to support yourself.
Exactly. And what kind of skills do you need? Do you need some trainings and things like that? Yeah, exactly.
That's true. And then I would add one more.
Yeah.
Like this is a pitfall for some when they think about where I want to be, what I want out of my career, what I want out of testing or stuff like that. So people easily end up, for especially testers, end up thinking about the reasons why they can't do it. So dealing with the reasons why it's unachievable, the goal.
Oh yeah.
So that's one thing that you need to do before you go to the resources and stuff like that. Because if you have the reasons in your mind, you will always defend why you can't reach it. So
and I think I think we all recognize this situation. So this is how it's always been done, and we can't do it otherwise, and we cannot change it. And
bosses are so ignorant; they can't we can do nothing. We don't have the time. And it's always about your resourcefulness. So if you don't have the time, then you know what to do. Get more time. Arrange more time. If bosses are ignorant, then you know what to do. Start educating the bosses. And those are the steps that would take you there. But then, if going back to the original question,
and I want to sort of also return to what you originally said, reporting the quality of the software, but also the quality of testing. What in that scenario or in that case, what do you mean by quality of testing?
Quality of testing. That's the question in this. Get the context, kind of a question. But I would, for example, start by asking. So, as a tester, how do you feel about this testing round? How do you feel about it? Like, how well did you do? And on a scale of 1 to 10, for example, give a score. Well, they say something, for example, a 7. So then I would ask, okay, what are like the 3 to 5 main things that contribute to you giving a 7? So what's the reason why you gave a 7? And then there would be the question, what would it demand, what would it take for you to give an 8? And that would give you like this kind of a story behind the number, and that would allow you to like elaborate the quality of testing a little bit more in detail and an actionable way. So that's how I would start it.
Are things like testability related to that? So that you can report if there's something that will make it easier, if it's setting up the environment, or when the change comes to the software, or if you're doing test automation, how easily can you get the different elements from the UI, or things like this testability. Also, what have we done? What have we not done? What was not being done on this round? What should we do next? Are those
are like priceless additions to the story of quality of testing. Testability is great, and exactly those, like coming up with the list, what have we not done and stuff like that. And that brings us to the concept of like creating like these categories that you'd actually look into. Testability is one. Your feelings as a tester might be one. Then there may be some metrics, for example, for some projects. There may be time-related stuff. How did we spend our time? How would it be spent in an ideal situation? Stuff like that. So you could like bring up a lot of categories. So just like choosing what are the categories that would serve you, I would say.
Nice.
So the original question. What was the original question?
How do I improve the quality of testing?
Wow. I think like in a very short episode. It's already something like over 10 minutes, I guess. At least recording there.
Probably not all of it will make it to
not all of it
production
will remain in the production version of it. You have to stay tuned and subscribe to our social media channels, because there you may see some B-roll material, some like bloopers and stuff like that. So that may be there. But I got distracted from the original question about the quality.
You wanted to shorten it up, I think, maybe.
There may have been something on my mind, but I actually forgot. So that's like my attention disorder at work. So
that happens sometimes to every one of us.
Actually, we have had questions about the attention disorder, like millions of like infinite number of ideas and stuff like that. So
But so reporting the quality of testing, can you summarize that somehow?
Yeah, and with this discussion, I'm sure we already are above the 10-minute threshold on this episode.
Could be.
No,
could be.
absolutely no substance
Yeah.
for you, audience there. I hope you're still there. So what did you ask?
Let's ask. So, could you about when it comes to reporting the quality of testing? Can you summarize that somehow?
Yeah, I would just I would say that pick the stuff that you want to report about the the quality of testing, and there are the categories that you choose. I don't tell what are the right categories for you. Pick 3 and use those as a starting point.
Yeah,
and then you, for example, your feelings. For example, the testability, and for example, the time management, like the area. Pick those, for example, and then ask your audience, ask the people who you're reporting to. Ask them that is there something else you would love to know about the testing, and you will get the answers.
Okay, so I think we've covered.
I feel like we've covered the question. Yeah. If you have anything to add or more to ask, please don't hesitate to use the comments in the comments section of this video. Gently hammer the like button, give the hearts, and share the video with someone who may benefit from it to improve the mental health situation of the software industry.
Exactly. We want visibility for testing. We want better software.
And not
we
for
want
ourselves,
better mental health.
Of course. Yeah. Mental health it's all about mental health.
Yes, it is.
And everybody's just happier when software works. Hey, by the way. Oh. Hey friends, this is an announcement. So if you want to be the very first in the world to see the new episodes of TestguruTV, navigate yourself to the URL proof.guru/TGTV. TestguruTV, TGTV. And that way you can join the TestGuru Insiders and get the new episodes at least a week before everybody else do on YouTube. And in addition to that, you will get some extras in terms of videos and posts from me and Jani. So do it right now. proof.guru/TGTV. See you there.